Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to go through the new Battlefield 6 community update with regards to the open beta debrief. Now this is something that really interests me, so I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. So we're going to go through it together, talk a bit about it, share my thoughts and opinions. That being said, let's get straight into the video. Hello everyone, thank you to everyone who joined us during the Battlefield 6 open beta weekend. Your passion and feedback have been invaluable, with tens of thousands connected on Discord to play together, over 600,000 hours streamed, over 30 million hours watched. Your enthusiasm and participation is what made it great. Damn right it was. Initial learnings and in-game changes. As we approach the launch of Battlefield 6 on October 10th, we'd like to take a moment to look back at the recent open beta to share our key learnings and in-game changes we are making based on feedback and in-game data. So weapons changes. It says here we are making targeted adjustments to deliver a more consistent and rewarding gunplay experience. This includes general pass on recoil and tap fire characteristics across all weapons, further emphasizing their unique feel and improving range differentiation. See, now I think that is a very, very good move, and that especially needs sorting out, as in my experience I felt like I was getting sniped by an SMG. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely feel that weapons that shouldn't be reaching ranges were definitely reaching ranges. We've also made changes to encourage more controlled tap firing and burst firing, rewarding precision and weapon mastery. So that's a good thing as well, because I feel like, to me, it didn't really feel like the attachments were making much of a difference. So it'd be good to know where they go with this. For example, when you're using a weapon and you level it up and you get it to weapon mastery, you know, it actually feels rewarding to unlock said attachments. So that'll be interesting. I'll be looking forward to see what they do with that. Additionally, the M87A1 shotgun now requires more pellets to secure a kill. Thank goodness. Did any of you guys feel like you were getting proper sniped with a shotgun? Because I'll tell you now, it was stressful. I feel like everybody was just running around with a shotgun, so I'm glad they are nerfing it a little bit at least. Let's just wait and see what they do with it. It also says we're investigating the time to kill and time to death experiences. Thank goodness. And we will share an update if definitive changes are made in these areas. So time to death experiences, I'm glad they're looking into that, because to me, it felt like you pop like half a mag into them and then you would die within a couple of seconds. So hopefully that'll probably fleshed out before the launch on October 10th. Moving on to the movement mechanics. Movement mechanics have been adjusted to create a more balanced and traditional Battlefield experience. Momentum, especially horizontal speed, carried from slides into jumps, have been reduced. There is now greater penalty for consecutive jumps, which lowers jump height when jumps are spammed. So that's good as well. So no more bunny hopping, no more Call of Duty play style. You know, Battlefield's all about boots on the ground, working as a team. So I'm glad to hear that they're looking into this and making some changes within this aspect. Firing while jumping or sliding will result in increased inaccuracy. So it's definitely going to be penalized if you're trying to play like a Call of Duty style. So it looks like they're definitely trying to take a step away from that movement, which is a good thing in my opinion. So there are no longer ideal options for engaging gunfights, and will contribute to a gameplay pace that rewards skillful movement without becoming too fast or unpredictable. See, like I said before, Battlefield is all about team play. Okay, you're going to have the odd person running in there and just guns blazing, as long as they're not bunny hopping around, sliding across the floor. You know, it's just I don't like that at all, so I'm glad they're making that change. Parachute physics have also been retuned, with reduced initial acceleration when opening the parachute for more controlled aerial movement. Now moving on to maps, we observe some players finding a way to reach rooftops and venture out of bounds. This gunplay is not intended for these maps, and the upcoming ladder for the Assault class is also not designed to reach these areas. We are actively working on adjustments to prevent unintended access and ensure gunplay stays within intended boundaries. See, I'm glad they're looking into this, especially I think it's the map called Siege of Cairo. Oh my god, every single time when he's on the opposite team, you would see a whole squad up on the rooftops just sniping the way down. It was absolutely horrendous. I'm guilty of this as well. Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them. It's the whole purpose of the beta, really, is to find these things and iron them out so they can make the launch of the game a lot more solid. We also heard strong feedback from players excited by the larger scale maps that Battlefield has to offer. While the open beta features smaller, more fast-paced maps, large scale maps are already part of the launch package, delivering action-packed gameplay and memorable, unique movements for every player. As part of the upcoming Battlefield Labs testing, we'll be testing 2 new multiplayer maps, one set in Marek Valley, and the other a remake of the fan favourite Battlefield 3 Operation Firestorm. These two maps include the full complement of vehicles like Liberation Peak, along with a more vast combat space. Now, I'm super excited to be playing Operation Firestorm again. I can't wait for the release date for that. To see it in the new gen graphics, you know, I can't wait. Stay tuned for some gameplay for that one. Okay, moving on to modes. When it comes to Rush, the conversation we observed wasn't just about player count, but also about how maps play and the tactical experience they offer. Rush is a mode with deep roots, originally known as Gold Rush and Bad Company, where matches typically range from 12v12 to 16v16. Many of you remember this as the golden era of Rush, and it continues to inspire our approach today. Now, I've got to be honest, I only played the Rush game mode just to get that challenge. Not really a big fan of Rush, but each to their own. I'm a conquest guy myself. Absolutely love the all-out war. We've experimented with larger player counts over the years, such as 64 and even 128 player versions. While these matches created intense, fast-paced movements, they are also led to issues like overwhelming defenses, stalled front lines, and too many games ending in the first sector. Rush is especially sensitive to higher player counts due to its tactical and strategic requirements. When a player tries to arm the MCOM while more than 20 opponents are defending, the intended gunplay becomes less tangible. Based on feedback throughout the recent titles, we are lowering the default player count for Rush to improve the flow of combat and restore the tactical and methodical experience that defines the mode. Which is good to hear. I might revisit it. I mean, I love playing Rush back in Battlefield 3 days. If these changes actually make it great again, I'll revisit Rush, but we shall see. For those who enjoy large-scale Rush, Portal will allow you to experiment with different player counts at launch. In contrast, Breakthrough is designed to accommodate higher player counts up to 64 players, and that's where the mode really shines. Using win-loss data from the open beta, we are continuing to make map-by-map balance adjustments towards the goal of 50-50 win ratio for both attackers and defenders, which I think is a great thing, because I feel like some of the maps were not designed for Rush. It felt like it was just here's a map, right, now let's place different modes within the map. The approach to player counts. There is some confusion around the number of players in different maps, so we wanted to take the moment to clarify our current direction on how these get determined, rather than locking maps and modes to a fixed player count. Our philosophy is to adapt to best fit the intended experience. This may vary map by map or evolve over time with player feedback. So I think that goes back to maps being created for specific modes. For example, at launch, some Breakthrough layouts will support 48 players while others have 64. It's one of the many factors we adjust to create the right balance and feel for each scenario. In Breakthrough, higher player counts work well on open dynamic maps, while smaller player counts offer a more focused experience on denser maps. Portal gives players the flexibility to try different settings and find what's best for their group and playstyle. Finding the right balance is an ongoing process as everyone gets familiar with the map sizes, lanes, and combat spaces. For now, we've found that 8v8 provides a solid starting point for small scale, fast-paced modes like Team Deathmatch, Squad Team Deathmatch, Domination, and King of the Hill. So I suppose it's literally just building the baseline, and within the players' feedback, they'll expand upon that. So I look forward to see where they go with this. Okay, moving on to player options. A limited variety of playlist options were created for the open beta to both showcase and test the flexibility of matchmaking system. Playing with both open and closed weapons will continue to be an option in Battlefield 6, as we are looking for ways to keep them easily accessible. I tell you what, I do like playing with open weapons, but I also do like playing with closed weapons. So being able to have the flexibility of you dipping in and out of both of them, but depending on how you're feeling at the time, I think it's a great opportunity for more players to come into Battlefield. If you don't know what open or closed weapons are, for example, open weapon means any class can use any weapon, and closed weapon means signature weapons are locked to the class. For example, assault rifles are locked to assault classes, snipers are locked to recon classes. Let's say you're an assault, that means you can't have a sniper. Personally, I prefer closed weapons because the spawn beacon is going to be moving to the assault class when Battlefield 6 releases, which obviously means if it's not a closed weapon lobby, it means that the assault class can get the sniper again, they can get to ridiculous places and just constantly spawn there. And closed weapons, I feel like will stop that. I feel like that was the whole purpose of them moving the spawn beacon in the first place, because I feel like the recon class was just being, you know, selfish with the spawn beacon, and it was primarily for themselves rather than the team. So for example, if you're playing on closed weapons and you're playing as the assault class, it's going to push team play, which I feel like is the right direction, and it's the only direction it should go in. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know if any of that makes any sense. We recognise that some players experience difficulty finding games to complete the challenges of capturing sectors in Breakthrough or Rust. It wasn't ideal. We are actively using your feedback and in-game data to review and improve the matchmaking system with the goals of improving a smoother experience in the future. I feel like the issue with this is we don't have a server browser. The search browser that was currently in the beta didn't work for me at all. I don't know if it worked for you guys. You'd have to let me know. My favourite map of the beta was Siege of Cairo. It was the only map of the 4 that felt closest to Battlefield 3 and 4 to me. So for example, I would select Conquest, then I would select Siege of Cairo as the only map to search for, and then I'd always get a completely different map, like Liberation Peak was coming up. Any other map other than the one that I specifically selected. I must have tried to search for it about 4 times before I eventually got it, so that needs some heavy work. I feel like the one fix that will completely eliminate that issue is just to have a server browser, just like Battlefield 3 and 4. I feel like that was their identity and they should stick with that. Reflecting on the open beta and next steps, with the insights gathered during the open beta play sessions, we are introducing in-game adjustments in upcoming Battlefield Labs events. Stay tuned for progress updates and future opportunities to get involved. So the Battlefield beta is the most players in the Battlefield beta history, which is absolutely crazy. Look at these numbers. 420 million total matches played. 92 million hours of gameplay. Does that say 4.9 billion enemies killed? Jesus. 30 million friendlies revived. 32% of players were using the Assault class. 26% support, 23% engineer, and 19% recon. 5.3 million total road kills. About 10 of those were probably me. 9.3 million tanks destroyed by enemies. 9.6 million helicopter destroys. 3.4 million jets destroyed. That's crazy numbers, man. Crazy. And look at this. 337 million kills with the shotguns. Because the shotgun was absolutely broken, it doesn't surprise me. That's probably the most used weapon as well. 7.4 million defibrillator kills. That's crazy. That's actually surprising. And you got the bottom right, you got $196 billion in damage. That's crazy. Destruction even. So there you have it, guys, for today's news. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. I really do appreciate it. Let me know down below if you like these changes or if you want to see other things changed. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll see you lovely people in the next one.